Howdy, Legendary Void here, and today we have another Wave X video for you all. Today we're going to be talking about the character that won last week's poll, as well as another character that I kind of revealed just because we all felt bad that he wasn't getting voted on, and as well as one other character that actually isn't going to make it into the set, but we'll talk about that all later. But one thing before we begin, make sure you guys check the description below to see how you can join the Transformers TCG Custom Cards Facebook page, where you can all see when I post the actual images of the cards when they're revealed, so you don't have to wait for the video to come out. So make sure you all do that, and yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So the character that was voted on last week was Autobot Blades. Now, he's a helicopter specialist, and no, I'm not doing the Protectobots either, so he's just going to be kind of my counterpart to Blastoff that was revealed the time before, but he's a 311-2 for 7 stars, and when you flip to his alt mode, you can attach an armor from your scrap pile to one of your other characters, and then if you do, you scrap a card from your hand, and as this was described by, I believe it was Henry Yandel, he said it was a supply drop, basically, and I kind of like that analogy, even though I didn't really think of that myself. It works perfectly fine. And then in his bot mode, he's just ranged. He's a 411-1, and whenever one of your characters is upgraded with an armor or utility, you repair 1 damage from them. So he's honestly kind of a basic character in the set, comparable to Blastoff, of course, since they both do stuff when you upgrade your characters. But yeah, he's pretty interesting because he does obviously heal stuff, as well as allows you to get armors on your characters pretty good and pretty easily. So, you know, he's pretty decent. I've found a few places I would like to use him, but I feel like he needs a little bit more testing to make sure he's good enough to be played. And the next character is one, of course, we all felt bad about, so I just went ahead and revealed him, is Autobot Skit. And he does have a really fascinating set of abilities. In his bot mode, he's ranged. He's a 211-1, and he has stealth, permanent stealth. And this character has +1 attack for each rare character on the battlefield and your opponent's KO area. And yes, that is affected by the rarity of the actual characters on the field. So very, very interesting there. So if you want to play a bunch of rare characters on your field, as well as also gamble that your opponent's going to be playing rares, you can of course try and stack up that attack to pretty big numbers if you really wanted to. But this character, before I continue on, I just want to preface, is not supposed to be playable. He's kind of just a gimmick thing. He's supposed to be fun for people to play, and I don't expect him to be in any high tier decks, of course, but he's just a funny character. I thought his the idea of bouncing off of the rarity of other characters is something unique and not done before, so I went ahead and just went along with that idea. Next up is his alt mode, where he's a 311-2, and he is 7 stars. He's a car melee, so he does do whatever the car shenanigans are, but he has stealth permanent as well. And when you flip to his alt mode, you get to draw a card for each common on the battlefield. So again, it does have to do with the rarity of characters, and if you want to start building up stuff with common characters, you can draw a whole bunch. He himself is an uncommon, so he's not affected by either of his abilities. But if you want to build a team around either rare characters or the common characters, then you definitely can. Another thing is certain characters like combiners or weaponizers, battle masters, they lose their rarity whenever they combine or become a weapon. So I don't believe that Skids would continue to get his effects if they disappear from the battlefield. Like, so for example, both of Sky Shadow's pieces are rares, but when he combines, he is not himself a rare. And I don't think either the headmasters count either, because they don't gain a rarity until they're in their bot modes. So I guess Ominous would count as a rare, but not while he's in his head form, if that makes sense. And the last character that actually is not going to make the set is an Omega Supreme Stratagem, quote unquote. I went ahead and just put it all on the card. Now, this is the one that was in the Loot Crate box, the garbage one that absolutely nobody played, but everyone wanted it to work. I just gave him a ton of buffs and said, all right, have at it. I have done barely any testing on this, but if you want to play it, you definitely can. Basically, for his stats, I just gave him a 1-10-1 buff. So 1 attack, 10 health, 1 defense, as well as just made him a 25-star character. And he will be your entire team. But in his alt mode, I increased both of his abilities, as well as also gave him the option to untap him, and you choose 2 of those options. So when he flips to his alt mode, you get to choose 2. You can draw 2 cards, do 2 damage to an enemy, or you can untap him. So he's got pretty good defense in his alt mode and a ton of variety on what you can do during the game. There's really interesting things you can do with him. You could play Swerve, and if he gets attacked in his bot mode, you could just flip him back, and then he's untapped and ready to attack again. So he's kind of interesting as a solo character. I don't know if he's too strong or not enough. I would probably bank on not enough, even though I gave him a ton of buffs. But you know, if you people want to test it, go for it, because I don't think I'll ever get around to it. Next up is his bot mode, which I kept his original ability just for the sake of people trying to play it in formats like Primus, where your max star count is 35. So if you want to do that, you could have him and still move all the damage over to him from another character. Or at least just 2 damage. The ability that I added onto him says when this takes 6 or more attack damage from a single attack, you get to flip him, which if he's taking attack damage and he's tapped, you flip, you probably deal 2 damage, or maybe even draw 2 cards if your hand is low, and then just untap him and he's ready to attack again. This makes him a little bit stronger against aggro decks, because obviously he's not going to be able to take more than a few hits before he's dead, because of how crazy aggro decks are nowadays. But if he takes 6 or more damage from a single attack, he basically untaps and will swing again. Plus he's got the massive 8 attack and the 2 defense to back that up. So he's going to swing hard, as well as continue to swing hard even if he's just the solo character on the field. Yeah, and that is today's character roundup. Next we're going to talk about who's going to be available to be voted on for next time. So you can vote for Hardhead. He's the only character that's still available from the last time. And then the 2 new characters we're going to be adding on for this week are Retgar, which, as you'll see in the picture, he is a mercenary. So that's going to be something interesting, and I'm actually very happy with the way this one's come out. I've done a little bit of testing with him and his motorcycles shenanigans and all the different stuff that I'm trying to do with motorcycles, and they all seem to be coming out very well. I'm just trying to make sure he's not too strong, because he might be a little bit strong. But you know, we're gonna continue to do testing and see how that works. And then the other character is the Decons. Now, of course, this is a very fascinating character. I've seen a lot of different takes on it, and I think you guys will really enjoy the way I do the Decons. So, again, I just got to make sure they're not too strong, because the way I have them right now, they're super powerful. But you know, we'll get around to it. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, make sure you look forward to next week's video. And we'll see who won the poll this time. Don't forget to comment below who you would like to win, and check out the Custom Cards Facebook page. And as always, have a phenomenal day. Peace.